Welcome to episode 12 of the Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lauren Kralovic.
Kaylia.
Stephanie.
And this week's episode is going to be how to mentally navigate prep. And just like always, before we dive into our topic, we're going to do some prep updates. But before we jump into our prep updates, I just want to say a huge shout out and congrats to Cody for competing in the strongman competition this weekend.
Thank you.
And
Place.
First place.
yeah,
Woohoo! State.
it was crazy to watch you do a 600-pound deadlift. What?
PR?
Yes.
He achieved some
That's
PRs.
amazing.
All the PRs.
That's
all the
amazing.
PRs were made.
Yeah, so tell us just a little bit about it. Like what?
Okay, so we had a 5-event strongman competition. Started off with axle clean and press. 295 on that one for a PR, so that was cool. Had more in the tank, but it was for reps, so I just wanted to save my energy. Then we had a deadlift. It was you got to pick 3 weights, and they were 50-pound jumps, and so you had to pick like where you started off. So I started at 550. That one went up pretty well. 600, and then I tried 650, but I have no business doing 650.
Oh my
so
God.
Crazy.
I was like, whatever.
600 was like still just like you can see the bar bending. I was like, holy,
my God.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
My back is feeling it though.
Oh.
That's okay. And then we had Conan's wheel. That was 550, and that one kind of just it's kind of a weird little implement you kind of pick up with your
Shuffling.
arms. Yeah, and you kind of like run with it. And then Fingle Fingers, which is another odd one.
It's an odd name.
Yeah, I was about to
Weird.
say.
It's a very
I'm
odd name.
impressed you said that so well. I wouldn't have been able to get that at finger. Like, what?
Fingle's Finger.
Fingle's finger.
Yeah, so it's like a little, think of it as like a big metal pipe with
Okay.
weight inside of it.
Flip
Okay.
it.
And you have to go, it's anchored down at one end
Okay.
that swivels.
Oh,
And then you pick it up and you kind of like track it up with your hands and press it
Oh,
up,
okay.
yeah.
and then push it on the other side, and that one's for 60 seconds, as many reps as you
Wow.
get. And then the last event was stones. The highest stone I've ever done was 330, and that was like right before the competition, and the stone was 365, and it was that for reps. And so I didn't get I zeroed that one, which is, I was like kind of like, if I got it, it would have been like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But great, but didn't get it, so that's fine. But coach said that like the form and everything was there, but it just I need to work on the strength.
More
and
strength.
Yeah,
That's cool.
like when you get closer to a 400-pound stone, it's like pretty heavy.
That's a lot.
400 pounds. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Heels are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I know, I watch those. I've been to a few strongman competitions, and just like watching those, it's like, how
How do
do
you
they
do it?
physically just do all of this? And there's
Yeah.
so many different events and stuff. So like every competition you do has like different implements and all of that, and it's just like insane. So just want to say congrats to you.
Congrats.
thank you.
Because I know we compete, and so a lot of this is like about us. But Cody is also a badass, so I just wanted to give you that
100%.
shout out today.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Were you so hungry after? I feel like if I worked out like that, I would need to eat the entire house.
Yeah, 100%.
Funny you say that. So we weigh in the day before, so I was like moderately dieting. I had stayed around the same weight, and so I had to lose about a pound and a half that morning, and so I just sweated it out in a sauna. But I ended up just like pigging out for like most of the day, and then that whole day I was eating. We're eating cake. Essentially, you're eating like kind of like ham sandwiches with mustard, and then you're eating candy because you want kind of
Sugar
like
and sodium.
yeah,
Like,
sugar and sodium. Yep, Gatorade. Yeah, you're just basically eating candy. But I went and got
Yeah.
a burger with my buddies, and I ate half the burger because I was like, I'm kind of like not feeling it.
Yeah.
because of all the
Tired.
sugar and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just-
But yeah, quick carbs because then
Yeah,
all the
honestly,
energy and stuff.
Yeah,
Fuel
I mean,
up.
I could do honey, but I'm like, no, dude, I want like little peach rings or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds
of
way
course.
better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. First place. Gonna do one more and then go into like strongman off season and just do a lot of strength and
When's
just
the
yeah.
one more? When's the next
August.
one?
Yeah,
August. Okay.
August, yeah.
Nice.
And that's
Uh-huh.
gonna be Montana.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Where, Missoula or like?
I think it's Billings.
Billings.
Is that the closer town?
Oh
I
yeah,
think Billings
yeah.
is closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's like 5 or 6 hours away, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be in Billings, and that one's gonna be cool. So it's funny. So I qualified for nationals, but I'm just like not there strength yet. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna stay here and do 275, get the strength up for the next 2 years, 3 years, dominate that like division because they
Yeah.
have that division in nationals, and
Okay.
then when I feel like I'm ready to do that. And I think 2 years. Marlon said 2 years, and you'll just keep going to the track you're doing, and then
Be ready
awesome.
for nationals.
Yeah.
That'll be the goal. Yay!
Sick.
Yeah, that's
That's so
awesome.
cool.
I feel like that's kind of similar to like even when we talk about like competing levels, like there's girls who like will play second at like a small show, but like they're not necessarily have the muscularity to like head on to nationals. It takes like a lot of almost like thought to be like, okay, so I qualified. Do I just go because I really want this? I'm like, that's my goal. But so that's really cool that you have like a long term plan and be like, okay, I know I'm not ready, but like I have goals to get there still.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool thing because I was like, that's like the same thing, but like different
different.
disciplines. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. Yeah,
that's cool.
No, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
No, I was excited. Thanks for
Good.
supporting me, guys.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
Always.
it's our strong bestie.
Right? Exactly. There we go.
I actually saved that one. I've been thinking of that.
That's
Oh,
funny.
God.
That wasn't on the fly.
I've been sitting on it. I'm gonna say that today.
That's awesome.
We got the bikini besties and our strong bestie.
Strong bestie.
That's awesome.
That's now we're calling
love
you
that.
the producer, Strong Best.
I love that.
I
Yes.
changed my Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Strong Best.
That's too funny.
All right. Well, so going back to our bikini prep update. First up, Kaylee's the closest to a show.
Yeah, we're in peak week. Yeah, we compete next weekend in Charleston, South Carolina at Junior USA's.
Yay!
So,
Happy peak week!
yeah, so we had it was like 2.5 months since Arnold. So we had 2.5 months in between. To be honest, it was a pretty, I think, not easy, okay, it's not easy, but good 2.5 months. Like, there's been a lot of refeeding, a lot of, like, some deplete, a lot of refeed, deplete, a lot of refeed. That's kind of how my whole 2.5 months has gone. And so it's been good. And then we're on just a couple of depletion days right now, and then we're going to go back into carbing up and into the show. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, everything's booked.
I have a question. Are you going to
Yeah.
start packing before or
Wednesday?
day of?
I leave. For this time around, I learned a thing the past 2 shows. I will no longer be taking clients during peak week. So I shut my calendar down, work
Nice.
schedule
Smart.
down on peak week. I only do like minimal work. So I've got video critiques to do, but and then I've plugged in a couple clients who really need it just based on when they're competing and what we're working on and stuff. But that's it. And so I have a way more relaxed schedule
Nice.
this next week. And so it's literally just athlete Kaylia for the most part. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to live in front of my computer and get some project work done. So Wednesday, afternoon. I get home like around noon 1, and I'm just going to prep my food and pack. We leave really early Thursday morning. We have to be at the airport at like 4 a.m. So, and then fly out at 5. And then, and then we fly home really early Sunday morning. So, yeah, I will pack
In and
the
out.
night before.
Mhm.
The night before. Yeah, in and out. We're in and out.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's a long flight, right? It's 2 flights.
Yeah,
right?
we fly from Boise to Dallas, and then Dallas to Charleston, I think is what it is. But then on the way home, we fly into Charlotte, North Carolina, then to Dallas, then home. So on the way home, we have 2 layovers.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
That's okay.
never do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
if it saves you money though, it's like it's
Yes.
on the way home.
It
I
was
will
the-
just
yeah,
sleep.
it's
It
on the
doesn't
way
matter.
home. I'll sleep and be like, I'll probably have tons of pictures and stuff. When we
Yeah.
looking through
You'll have so
and-
much
Yeah.
content
Yeah, I'll have
and
so much-
comments and all those
yeah,
things to
all
reply
kinds of
to
stuff to
for
keep me
sure.
occupied. But it was like the only way. It was the only, because I booked all my stuff 4 weeks out from my show because I kept waiting for whatever reason because I'm lazy.
Well, it's still pretty. Yeah.
But it was the only flight back home unless we wanted to get in. Have an overnight flight
Oh,
late,
gosh.
and I did
Those
not
are
want
the
to do that.
worst.
Yeah,
So there was only like 4 spots left, and so I just picked that and coming home. So, but yeah, I think I'm excited. Tomorrow, I'll be after today, I'll be excited. Today, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
The 2 depletion days, just like I can't complain about my prep at all. Like I cannot complain about the past 2.5 weeks or 2.5 months. But it just the second depletion day just kind of hit me today. So I'm just like a little zombie mode. But it'll be all good. We'll go to sleep tonight and wake up fine.
Those are always hard. Those
Well,
are always
probably-
hard.
Actually, the first day back, that next day tomorrow might actually be worse too. Sometimes that, because it's 2 days of depleting, so your body isn't getting the carbs back in yet, and it takes a minute for those carbs like to feel good again.
Yeah.
So tomorrow might be iffy, but then later tomorrow and the next day should be okay. But we're fine. We're fine. We're gonna live.
Do you feel like you're approaching this peak week any differently than the last one that you did, or are you just kind of like taking it day by day?
We're taking it very day by day. So like I update Paul with how I'm looking, feeling, and we haven't really needed to. My body's just been kind of. I guess my body's been more predictable-ish this time. Like he thought we raised my food all week last week, and he predicted I was going to be dropping weight, and I did, and I just kept dropping, and then and so. It's just been predictable, I guess. I don't know. That's the best way to.
You guys practiced too within those 2.5 months.
Yeah, the 2.5 months, we've done a lot of this deplete refeed stuff, and so we have just patterns of how I respond.
Because this is still your first kind of prep with Paul.
Yep, third show, first prep, and first like I'm getting to the truer conditioning.
Right,
So,
or first on season, like kind of overall.
Yeah, and so I'm my very first show, Legends Classic, in February. I'm 7 pounds lighter than that. And then Arnold, I'm 5. Yeah, 5 pounds lighter. So we're at more of that true conditioning, stage lean. And now it's time to just see if that's the look for me for stage.
Yeah.
And just see what it looks like on stage. I think that's a significant difference in conditioning.
Yeah, and that was your goal too. That was about like number wise.
That was my feedback, and that was my goal.
Delivering.
So we're delivering, and so now we just go see what it looks like with all the tan and lights and posing, and we just see if that's the look, and then what that does is now you take this physique in my brain, put it on stage, see what it looks like, and it's going to go one of two ways. Got to be a little bit tighter, or now that we've gotten to the tightness, do you just need more muscle? And so now, or like, what do you need? Is it more upper outer glute? Is it more tie-in? Is it more glute period? Is it more is it posing tweaks you need to make? So hopefully maybe we've brought the conditioning, and now we need to see what they want physique wise.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Saturday.
Woohoo.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you.
I'm so
I
excited.
just have a really good feeling about this show.
Yeah. Even I was just talking to someone about this. Like, I'm like, obviously everyone wants pro card, right? But I do. But my biggest goal out of this entire season is to be a top national athlete, which is being first call outs at a true competitive national show. 15 plus girls in the class. Like, I want to make it into that first call out and
be
in
undeniable.
The mix. Yeah.
Like as soon as you come out in those first looks.
Yes.
Right?
I want
like
it to
she's
be like,
gonna be in the top
she's going to
call
be a
out.
first call out.
Yeah.
Like, I want that.
Yeah.
That is my goal for this season.
Yeah.
And I got my overall I wanted. I got to compete at the Arnold. I really just wanted to compete at the Arnold Amateur. I got to do that. And now the real true like May national season is starting. And so Junior USA is being the first one. So now I just hope I would like to be in the first call out, and we go from there, and we get our feedback, and we see if we're going to do Junior Nats or Universe. I think those are my only 2 national shows I'm thinking of doing this season, and then calling it, just because by then I'll be in prep for a year, and I just need to be done. I've got some other goals and things I got to work on and do. And if you don't have to me in my eyes, if I don't have a pro card by then, there's kind of a reason I need to improve on some things and come back.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of we're just taking it show by show, and I'm just going to see how this Junior USA's goes. And, if I'm in that first call out, if I'm in like the top 3 and a pro card doesn't happen, I'll probably go do Junior Nats and see. Cause at that point it's about like who shows up, and it's about like making those tweaks. And, and so we'll just see how the next one does, and we'll just go from there. And so that's it.
I love that. I love that. Good overall plan and focusing on the feedback. And I'm just happy that like a huge thing is just improving show to show. And so you hit that already. So it feels good.
Yeah, feels good. Yeah, we improved, and now we're just going to go put it on stage and see if that's what they want. And then if not, get what they want.
Yes.
Find out what they want. Get the feedback. Yeah, and go from there. So, how about you? You're in a week after me.
Yes. So 2 weeks out. Yeah. So 2 weeks out. I think my main feedback from Wasatch was to tighten up my gluten hams. And so I think we've done that. I'm really just...
She has.
Yeah, she sent us updates.
It's
pictures.
sharper.
Yes,
It shows.
It's sharper.
She's
It's
been
a little
working.
Sharper. I've been working. I've been walking, actually. I've been walking.
Oh, she's been walking.
Oh my gosh, I've been walking. But yeah, diet-wise, I think we were a little bit less with the carbs in the last. So I just basically went back on my macros from right before Wasatch. But going into Wasatch, I think it was a little higher 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out. So this time I just kept it the same. And then my cardio stayed the same. I even upped my own cardio in terms of asking my coach, should we push a little harder maybe earlier on, just because I know that my energy really tanks like peak week and I get really tired. And then I'm also working almost all the way up to the show. So I think we leave Friday morning, but we are doing an overnight flight.
Ooh.
Yes. So
Thursday night or Friday night?
Thursday nights is how
Overnight.
you would see it. So yeah,
Okay.
so it would
you
be
get in Friday.
yeah, so I get in Friday at 9 a.m. and then and then
You should still have all
check-ins
bad.
is 4. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
thought it would give me like a nice full day and everything, or
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
But then I'm working until like 6 p.m. that day on Thursday, so I will not be packing on Thursday night.
She'll
So I'm gonna be packing hopefully a little bit every day.
Throughout the week.
Yeah, throughout the week, just little by little, so that it doesn't feel like this overwhelming thing. But yeah, Cody, we are flying overnight, so I'll be asleep.
We're getting after it.
Yeah, he's a row ahead of
He's
me.
gonna be exhausted.
Yeah, he's
We're
a.
gonna need to take Cody on like a vacation.
I know.
You guys are taking me on vacation.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you can't go back on your
He's gonna need
diet
a
right now.
relaxing vacation.
I know.
Like a besties vacation.
Yes.
Oh my god, that would be so
cruise.
fun.
That would be fun.
Oh,
that
like
would
a
be
weekend
so
cruise.
fun.
What if you did like a 2-day, 3-day little like?
Oh, I love that.
You guys done cruises?
So
Yes.
no, I haven't. They
Yeah.
kind of scare me. Actually, I don't know why that actually came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the
kinda
easy,
scared me.
affordable thing to do.
Yeah.
And
no,
so-
it's fun. It's fun. I've done 2. I did one.
They kind of freak me out being on a ship in the middle of the ocean, like
No,
that could
it's-
just.
You don't even know, like, honestly, you don't even notice that you're on a ship in a way, because it's so big.
massive.
Yeah.
It's so big, like elevators.
Have
you
you,
know,
Cody?
like everything.
I haven't.
The gym is nice. Yeah.
I've just heard
Like, what
a
if
lot
someone
of
throws you over?
No.
No one would do
No.
that.
I don't know.
I'm
These are
like,
the things I think of. I
Right?
like watched Final Destination, and like now I
Oh,
just think about
gosh.
all the different ways I can die.
yeah.
I think about that movie. There's a movie that
About.
flipped over.
Oh
Don't
God.
tell me.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
I saw
I've
there was
never.
like a viral video where these kids were messing around and a dude jumped off the cruise ship.
Oh,
my
stop.
Yeah, and it was
gosh.
like crazy. It was like a viral
We'll
video
stay in the
thing.
middle
I
of the
was
cruise ship.
like,
Yeah.
that's a little.
I need a room in the I need everything in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
My biggest tip cruises is there's an adult only section with like a sauna and like a
Yes.
really
Okay, that.
nice. Yeah.
Can
So
we
I
do
paid an
adult-only
extra
cruises?
$200.
We probably do adult only cruises. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do an adult
Yeah,
only
because
cruise?
Yeah. No
Yeah.
kids.
I don't,
Only
I don't
adults.
wanna- yeah.
Not on vacation.
Right? Yeah.
We don't have kids.
We
Yeah.
need to bring them.
Yeah.
We don't
No,
have
that
'em.
is the best
Okay.
part. That was my
I like
escape
this.
place.
In off seasons.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
We're
it's a
planning
plan.
this.
It's a plan.
All right.
The
Any-
brunch is nice too. Like, not brunch. They have like a buffet kind of
yeah.
thing.
So like
Yeah.
salad.
Yeah, but it's not like a. I don't know. It's not like a regular. It's like
Gross
an
buffet.
a
It's
little
like
bit
a-
elevated buffet kind of.
Yeah.
And they also have pizza available at midnight. So.
Oh my god.
But one time
Oh
I
my
was
God.
on a cruise and I prepped through the cruise last year.
Oh yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah, I prepped through the cruise, and so it was. I could even prep through
Yeah.
a cruise, like I just vegetables.
Yeah, I'm
and,
sure they've got veggies
Yeah.
and chicken and shrimp and
Yeah.
just easy
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's hard too. Yeah,
You don't
it's
want
tough.
to,
Yeah,
though.
you
You're
don't
like-
want to. You don't really want to.
If you're paying
um,
to enjoy something,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
philosophy on vacations. If
Yeah.
I'm going on vacation,
I'm
I'm
going
Yeah.
on vacation.
gonna enjoy my
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
Segue.
yeah.
Back to
back to
prep.
this. Yeah, no. So I'm really excited. I think we've delivered. I've been trying to put like side by sides of like the same amount of time out from which is kind of cool and nice to kind of see the improvements and everything. But yeah, overall we're just kind of cruising, and I'm hoping that we can bring down cardio peak week because I'm working and all
Yeah.
those things, so that so I'm just giving it my all until we reach exactly what Shane wants to see. What's kind of nice too is I still haven't really weighed myself as like a tool,
yeah.
and so it's been awesome to kind of see that we're chasing that look, and I haven't had, I don't think, as much like an emotional roller coaster, like that attached to that number.
Oh,
That's cool.
So like, like I haven't been like, oh, I look so good, and then weighed myself and been like, oh, that's not what I wanted, and
Yeah.
then have that kind of clash in
Yeah.
my brain. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I look so good. That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So probably in future preps, I think I'll probably bring it back, but I really wanted to kind of nix that relationship because it became very strong in my prep for my pro cards. So yeah, so it's been really, really good. Other than that, I think we're just sailing in. So we'll be in Louisiana next in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Charleston,
Right.
Louisiana.
What
That'll
about
be
you?
fun. Well, my prep update is pretty much the same. Still no show picked because we're just doing the thing till we get closer.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking kind of like at like overall like trend of the last bit because this is week 13 of being on prep. We're still trending down about a pound a week.
Mm-hmm.
So even though like I internally feel like it's really slow, it's still a pound a week. So my rate of loss is still moving. But the crazy thing is we haven't changed anything with food and cardio at all. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like it feels very anticlimactic. It's like the boring grind.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still in that part like week after week where it's like, well, I'm not changing a thing, but like I'm seeing more like leanness like in my upper body especially. Week to week. Not that I don't have my own mental struggles, which we'll talk about more as we get into the topic, but just slowly week to week, little by little. But the nice thing is not having a show picked. I don't feel like pressure,
Right.
because I don't feel behind at all.
That's a good view of it.
Yeah,
You're just
outlook.
going.
Because like if it takes me a little longer, like it's okay. I'm not behind. Like there's
Yeah.
no date.
Yeah. You're not going like, oh, I'm 10 weeks out and then looking back at like a 10-week out. Oh my, because I did that.
constantly
Remember?
going
I
back
still
and
have
forth.
12 pounds to lose, but only 10 weeks. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Or I was here 10 weeks out and I don't look like
Yeah, exactly. And then but the thing is like I've had a few people because like people are noticing that I'm in prep now, or they listen to the podcast, or I post photos on Instagram and stuff, or they see me leaner in the gym and they're like, oh my gosh, when's your show?
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know. And I've had a few people be like, once I explained to them, we're waiting to pick, and I'm good with that, and they're like, I couldn't do that. Like I need like an end date to like be all in, like
that's the same response I guess to the scale
of
I
the
couldn't do
deadline.
that.
And I'm like, well, for me, like I think right now, like I really just so badly want to compete that I'm gonna do everything in my power. Like my goal is to get to the point where I check in and coach is like, all right, let's go.
Yes. It's go time.
And then you got the next goal. So it's these constant little goals.
Mini goals. That's what I call. I want to talk about this when we talk about like my mindset on things. But like that's like what I'm shooting for right now. It's not like I have my show date. Like my goal is like that when I check in, and I cannot wait for that.
You're just waiting to open the text,
right?
It's like,
yeah. And I mean that's so it's like I don't want to deviate at all. I want this. I'm all in. I mean. Obviously, I've done enough preps and enough shows that, like, when I choose to be on prep, I'm all in anyway. But so what's the difference if I have the show date or not?
Right.
So I'm totally good not having a show date. And so it's kind of funny how many people ask me and are like, kind of can't believe I don't. And I'm like, I don't know. It feels right to me.
Yeah. And you're just,
So
and
that's
your body's
good.
still responding, because to me, the opposite of that would be, your body not responding and just staying the same, and then you start to implement more and more things and still not responding. To me, that would be even more frustrating than anything. So I'm like, having your body respond when everything is staying stable and you're just going
so we're good. We've got it's in a groove.
You're not
right
plateauing.
now. No. Like I'll have like it's really interesting, like I'll have like my check-in day is like a nice low, and then maybe the next day will be about the same, and then I'll go up like 1 or 2 pounds like for a day or two, and then I'll slowly go back down for the week, and I'll end up with a new low. That's kind of been the little like emotional curve
Mhm.
every single week.
Mhm.
Because I weigh myself daily for some reason, like, because like we talked about, like my
Yeah.
data, like that helps me.
But you do a lot of stuff daily. Like it's not just
Yes.
weighing yourself. What are
Lots
the
of
other things?
metrics.
Yeah.
So I have like a little my spreadsheet.
Yes.
Spreadsheet queen.
Yes.
Of all the little things. So then I can see like, oh, so the day that I spiked up, I actually had poor sleep the night before because I tracked how many hours I sleep on my watch.
Mhm.
And I also had like an 8 on my digestion instead of a 10. And so it's like poor sleep and poor digestion. No wonder my weight was up a pound the next day. So I can
Right.
see the correlation across the week.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of like cool to see that for
Yeah.
me. Like I love that type
Yeah.
of thing because then I feel like I can explain fluctuations a little bit easier to
Yeah.
myself.
Right.
Not feel off that my weight
But
was
that
up
helps
a pound.
with your your emotional and your relationship with the scale.
Yeah.
It's a different approach, but yeah.
where I
it
have
helps
like
quite a bit.
more data points makes me feel better about
Yeah.
fluctuations or changes and
Yeah.
things like that. But I think one thing that I've really learned this week is to zoom out.
Mhm.
And when you look at like the overall trend, like I am steadily a pound a week down.
Yeah.
So like even if it's like the
Mhm.
trend when you zoom out on the graph is like
Is
this.
going down.
So
Yeah.
I mean, slow, but it is it's going in the right direction.
Right.
So I feel like prep's good. I'm hungry. I have my tired moments, but like overall, like I can't complain. I'm doing all the things I need to do in my life, and
Yeah.
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
kind
awesome.
of where we're at.
Okay, well, we're all waiting too when Cash sends you
Yes.
that text.
Yes.
I know.
It would be like
Y'all will get a
party.
screenshot.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right?
god, it's time. It's
Right?
time.
That's awesome.
But like I'm excited. I think I have a little bit of FOMO because like everybody else is so close to their show, and I just want to be there already. And even like
Oh,
Anthony's 6
yeah.
weeks out, and so it's just kind of like
Yeah.
a lot of like excitement going on. And I'm watching like even like the other pro shows going on. I'm like, I just can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's more
I'm
out
okay
of
with it because then I'll probably be done and I get to just 100% support and I get to
Yes.
watch.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think it's more out of excitement than anything else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I just like can't wait. You know, I
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
we love it. And
Yeah.
I want to be part of it all. But so
Yeah.
it's. I think
It's
I even
normal to feel that way.
yeah. I think I even posted on my Instagram today like the thing I'm learning to embrace really is truly just patience.
Mhm.
Just patience.
Mhm.
My era of patience.
Yes. Yeah.
I just gotta be patient because I like there's nothing wrong. There's nothing happening like bad. Like everything's
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Prep's good.
Mhm.
Why am I like
Just soak it up and
feeling
enjoy it.
feels? Oh, because I'm impatient. Because I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that kind of brings us to our topic, because it's like kind of like something that I really had to mentally deal with prep this week. So let's dive into how to mentally navigate prep. When we're talking about how to mentally navigate prep, like there are a lot of things that go on during prep because it is really wrapped up in your whole life and you spend so much time doing it.
Mhm.
And so I think we're going to start just kind of sharing some personal experiences that we've had recently that kind of like had to have a step back and realize like how did we handle that situation. Like for me this last week, I think it was like Tuesday or something, I was at the gym and I was like looking in the mirror trying to get like my workout in, and I just like broke down. I just like started tearing up, like crying almost, like not like bawling, but like tearing up. I was like
Yeah, there's
emotional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just like had a lot of like self-doubt like wash over me, and it was like I'm not lean enough, I'm not gonna ever be lean enough, and I like had like a lot of these like negative self-talk spiraling thoughts, and I just let it just like really get to me. And then I like the more I thought about it, the more I like got harder on myself. And I was like, because at first it was kind of about like not being lean enough, which I'm mid prep, like of course I'm not. Like we have time and I am getting leaner, so it's happening. But like looking in the mirror, I just was like not feeling good about it, having like a really bad body image day. And then when I started spiraling, I even got to this point where I was like, did I even put on enough muscle? Am I gonna be competitive enough? Like, why am I doing this? And I even like I ran into Steph and one of our other really good friends at the gym, and I like started to like cry when I was like telling them about it. And it was just an emotional moment for me. And it's like one of those things like I've acknowledged, like sometimes we have bad prep days. Like I called it a prep moment. It's a prep day. And I think the easy thing is like like some people could get like really like torn down into that and let it carry on further than a day. And we can't let that negative self-talk like spiral and believe that negative self-talk. And so for me, like it really was a tough day just like to like think that way, because I typically have a really good mindset, especially
you have an
about
amazing mindset. You're so positive.
Most of the time. And so it was just like I was like, why am I being like this? And
can I say this?
Yeah.
You know how sometimes there's a time where you just need to cry?
Yeah.
Like you just need to cry, and then you cry and you feel better.
Yes.
It's kind of like you're so good at being mentally tough and so positive and have this amazing outlook on life and the sport. It's like this was your moment to have this day, and your little body just needed to have this day. And then now you're like kind of it's like that good cry.
It's a good reset.
And a lot of times like in the past I used to like just internalize that and I'd let it carry into the whole night and I would be really upset. But like what I did, not even before I even ran into Steph at the gym, is I text you guys and just was like, I literally said, I'm having a prep moment, like in quotations, like prep moment. And because I knew this feeling isn't my normal feeling. And so I think what I did to kind of like help get over it is like lean on people that like support me and they get it and they know what's going on. I can even talk to Anthony about it. He's learned, as you probably saw in like our episode when he was here, it's not even about like giving me suggestions. It was about listening to me. I just needed to vent. I just needed
ears.
to feel the feels.
Yeah.
And so like he even like did a really good job at like he like stopped me mid workout, like cause I was like tearing up trying to do like shoulder lateral raises in the mirror and like the corner. And he comes up and he's like, "You're a pro. You got this." And so it's just kind of like, you know, the reminders, like you have people in your life to support you, like
on your off days, because you will have them.
That
right?
believe in you and remind you that like
who you are.
Who you are.
Right?
Yes,
absolutely.
You're
and
good
even
at
like
this
we're all really busy and stuff, but like later that night, like you sent like a long text message, and I was like, I like read it and I was like driving, and I was like, I gotta reply back to her. But like it was just like so great to hear it from someone who like understands like what you're going through. And you know, like that I even like acknowledge, I'm like, I know it's gonna be all okay, I know it's fine, I know it, but like I just couldn't help but have like that bad day. And I think just acknowledging that it was a day and moving forward, continuing having a positive mindset was what I needed. But on that note of like leaning on your supporters and your friends, like just be careful not to always be bringing them the negative things too. Because I've also done that in my past where like I kind of like became where I would like just vent only to
reached
a
out when
friend.
you were venting. Okay.
And I felt like that didn't help that friendship.
So share your struggles and your wins. And
yes. So be sure to acknowledge your wins at the same time too. It's not bragging to be like, guys, oh my God, my tie-ins are showing good today. Here's a little pic. Here's a selfie I took. Because then it's like they can celebrate wins and negatives with you. Because that's really important to be on both sides of it and have it like a well-rounded communication.
Well, I've done that with you guys. Like, I mean, saying that I'm eating more lower, like that probably doesn't like. You're like, oh, cool. You get to lose weight and you're eating more carbs and less cardio. Like, funny. But I want that for that. Like, anytime there's a win, I want to hear that from my friends, and so it's like you want to be comfortable sharing.
And
both,
I never think that ever. I never think that we have different body types, and I'm like, this is what I have to do to get there.
Everyone's preps are different. Like, there's things that like I would love her muscle density.
And that night when she was you even said that to me, and that day I was like,
I
have no muscle.
I was like, shut up.
Right?
I'm drooling over here over your density.
And I was like, I don't even have any glutes.
But some other things you did though I want to ask if they helped you mentally get out of it is you, I think it was like Steph's idea or something, but you went back and put together comparison photos.
I did.
You went and looked at, I think, some of your data or something, and to help, because you're that person that needs to see that, like, the trend. And so you sent us your comparison photos of like last off season or the beginning of the prepper, and it was drastic differences in her shape, muscle density, her leanness from the start of prep, which I think probably helped you.
Because when you get into that negative mindset, I think sometimes your mind almost plays tricks on you that, I think it's something in psychology where it's like your brain wants like confirmation.
Yeah.
So like it looks for things that confirm what it believes.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, even though like you're telling yourself, I know this is just a bad day, 98% of the time I'm good, blah, blah, blah. It just sometimes feels like you don't fully believe it, but then when you see it and you go back and you see like this is where I started and now this is where I am, then it's a lot easier to kind of believe it and to get yourself out of that place. But I think one good thing that you really did was zoom out, right? And not catastrophize.
Yeah, and that's what you suggested. You're like, because especially that's kind of how you've handled your prep, like doing no scale, is you've really utilized the tool of doing photo comparisons to see progress. And so I was like, okay, Steph, like I was like, I don't want to look. I mean, what if it's not enough improvement? And she's like, well, try it. And so I was like, okay. And so like later, like I think it was the next day or something. I was like home and I put together start of prep to my last check-in, and I think it had been like 11 weeks. And then I did another one where it was like my same weight of 2023. So it was a little different because I like had done a mini cut and gotten leaner and then reversed a little and then cut again. But so it's kind of a different spot that I was in, but same exact weight, a little over a year apart. And so I put those side by side, and that's where I think I saw a drastic difference. Because of course, like in the 11-week difference, I lost weight. Like I knew that. So I knew I got leaner. But seeing what like I think really made me feel validation.
Accomplished. And
like,
you were
was the year transformation. It's like, okay. So I did put on muscle.
Oh my goodness.
I just have to be patient for the leanness. So I'm good. I made progress. We just have to chip away. We have to see
You did the hard part. You did the hard part. The now it's just time. It's not
peeling it.
It's just
peeling
time.
it off.
Yeah, and I think the very last thing I did to kind of for that day, just to like navigate this. I even did it with some time, because that was like Monday or Tuesday. On Thursday, I checked in with my coach, and I talked to you about this a little bit too. Is you're like, okay, well, what does your coach think? Like, and so I went to him, went on my check-in. I just did a quick like communication check, being like, okay, so this week I felt a little frustrated with my rate of loss. Do you think this is an appropriate rate of loss, or is there something I can do to be a better athlete? Like, what am I doing everything okay? Like, is this, are you happy with my progress? And he came back and gave me feedback, and, he's like, you're right. You're doing what you need to do. That 1 pound a week loss is appropriate. And he kind of like gave me some feedback. And then instead of just like changing my plan up, because clearly it's already working, he just gave me something like increase my step count. And he didn't even do it formally on my plan or anything. He just like, if you want to do more, just be more active. And I thought that was such a good mindset. And I'm like, you know what? I can use another dog walk outside in the sunshine with my dog and clear my head and get more activity and more steps. And feel like I'm doing more without taxing my body
Doesn't
more.
always have to be lower the food, increase the cardio, or the machine cardio. It can be go move more, and then that might not just help you with your prep, but mentally, hang out with your dog, social stuff,
and even getting that feedback from your coach and communicating instead of just brushing it aside that was a bad day, but here's my check-ins. Not telling him, because if you don't give your coach the opportunities to help.
To coach you.
The opportunities to coach you. Exactly.
To coach you, to be your coach.
Exactly. That's where I think athletes almost start to get frustrated with their coach too, right? Because
you got to give them feedback to do their job.
Yeah. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And one thing too, like when I had that bad day, I think maybe because I'm a very disciplined, seasoned athlete, it was easy to not deviate from my plan.
Mhm.
But I've heard of people, maybe even I've done it when I first started. When you have like a bad day like that, that's a day where you get that temptation to cheat on your diet
Yeah.
or skip the rest of your workout and go home
Mhm.
or skip some cardio. I think something that really pays off later when you're out of that negative space and you're back to your normal mindset is that you will be so much prouder of yourself and feel so much more accomplished if you just stick to the plan.
Yep.
And then when you feel like this again, because you will, there will be another hard day. You don't just have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There will be another hard day. You remind yourself of what you did on that last hard day, and like, okay, I was able to accomplish all my things. I was able to stay on plan. I can do it again. It's
Do it
just
again.
a hard day.
Yeah.
And
And
you
really,
hand-
if you don't, you're just adding to the
Yeah.
things that you'll be disappointed in yourself for.
Yeah.
So just continue to check all the boxes, have the day, have the mood,
Feel the
and
feels.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, and you can feel the feels and stay on point.
yeah, yes, it's okay to feel the feels. You can have your day.
Mhm.
It is okay. It's normal. It's a normal human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's something that's like was very real and very
It is very real.
recently happened this week.
Yeah. Very
But I feel good. Like I'm clearly happy and I'm like
Yep.
prep still good. So
Mhm.
it's like I just like that was definitely just like a moment to like acknowledge and accept and realize and process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Proud
No,
of you.
It's
Thanks.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
I think one that was recent was for me was we were doing, it was one of the weeks we were doing a mock carb up peak week, and my body was just going through like a normal mock peak week. Oh my gosh, normal mock peaks that we have done.
low carb.
We like I've usually lost weight when we've increased food and
Right.
lowered cardio, so that was my normal trend. And this 1 week, my weight was going up. And I was losing, like, I just looked, it's that like watery, flat, bleh look. And it's like you have a film over you, over all your muscle and lines, and your brain thinks like it's fat. It's not.
Yeah.
We're increasing carbs by little increments. And so we were increasing carbs this time, though. What was different, I think, is they were larger increments. And so we learned a thing that, like, maybe not push my food that high, and push my carbs that high, or those big jumps.
Right.
And so I was gaining weight, like it was, like a half a pound. And then it was like, and I was attaching the number on the scale like too much to how I look, and I was like wanting to see this certain number because we needed to bring more conditioning, and I had hit that number. It was 120, and so I had hit that number and I had seen it, so I know that's my conditioning. But then when we were doing this carb up, which also it's normal to do a carb up and put on some water weight, you're
Yeah.
putting more food into your body, carbs in your body, you're filling out your muscles. That is normal.
Think about that. Think about what you just said.
Yes.
Filling out muscles. So when you
Yes.
feel something, it becomes heavier.
Right.
But this
Yeah.
time it wasn't just filling out the muscle. It was like I was actually holding water. Like you could see it. Like my lines weren't defined and stuff like that. But I was just getting in my head and like being all upset that like the number on the scale was going up and I was looking like not how I needed to look. And here's the deal. We still had plenty of time. Like I still had 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
until like this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so even if the scale went up 2 pounds, first of all, it's water weight. Second of all, that's going to come off in a few days. But I wasn't like thinking that. I
Yeah.
was just kind of doing my little
There was a
freak
lot
out.
of factors because there was also like the massage that you had.
Oh, I got
There
a
was little
massage.
bit of
Thanks. Yes,
inflammation.
that was it. I got a massage too the day that we started increasing
Yes.
food, and it was like a deep tissue massage, which those on a lot of people can cause inflammation. And you hold
Absolutely.
water, and it takes a few days to go away.
Yeah.
So I was just having that little like prep moment week
Yes.
of freaking out about the stupid scale, which I needed. So, but finally, I think after a couple days of the scale, I actually didn't weigh myself one of the days.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't want to see it.
Yep.
And I just felt fine that day. I felt better, and I just relaxed. I too, like, even though I'm not like I definitely weigh myself, but I don't weigh myself every day. I'm more of a like in between of
In between.
yeah, I weigh like probably 3 to 4 days a week, or just like maybe whenever Paul really needs it because we're doing a specific thing
Yes.
the day before or the
Yeah.
next day. And so yeah, anyways, normally I don't. Normally I just look at it like data, but that week I just wasn't. And it was because of the massage, because of the same time as the carb up. I had seen that low weight finally, so we reached my goal. Like,
And you worked so hard for
yes,
that
and I
goal.
didn't
You're
want to
like,
lose
yeah,
that
I
goal.
need that
I was like-
number. Yeah.
yeah, and so, but now I'm back to like, I'm at the best conditioning. Like, I just needed time, and I just needed to kind of freak out, and I freaked out to them, to my husband, and my husband is always like telling me like, it's water weight, Kaylia. It goes away. You literally cannot. And he'll like do the math. He'll be like, you couldn't have put on body fat. Like,
Yeah, physically impossible.
yeah. So, yeah, and I guess how I got myself out of it was one, utilizing my friends and my support system, my husband. It was not weighing myself when I was when I was feeling like really anxious about it. Just didn't weigh myself that day. I was like, I don't want to know. I'm gonna go about my normal routine, and then I just, who cares? And that was the last carb day. And then the next day we went back to. What kind of happened was, I actually expected my coach to drop my carbs, my food substantially because of this number on the scale, and increase my cardio substantially, but he didn't. And
Why
I was
did you
like,
expect that though? From past coaching?
I don't know
or
if it
from
was
just...
past coaching or because like we just saw my weight go up all week. Like I don't know, probably past coaching, like probably. And but I know that's not how this coach does it. So I don't know. It was just a weird emotional week. And I was tapping back into like old prep coaching, Kaylia, if that makes sense. And in regards to how I was thinking about things or feeling.
Right.
And so I thought he was going to like slash things and everything. And I got my plan and I was like, wait, what? Like, that's not much of a carb increase or decrease. That's not much of a cardio increase. And I was like, and I had asked, I wasn't going to, but this is where like share how you feel with your coach, because I just shared how I felt. I honestly was not going to say anything. I was just going to do the plan. But then I knew that if I didn't say anything, it would just sit at my chest.
Yes.
And so I like shared, I was like, okay, I was like, I totally thought maybe you would like cut the food to this and increase the cardio to this because we have 2 weeks and we need to be this. And I was like laying out this plan. Okay. And, he goes, we can, but I really think that if you do this for a couple days, your body's going to go right back to where it was. And it did. And so I just needed to get it out and I needed him to hear my worries. And then he was like, and he even told me, he was just like, I really love your look and I would like to put this on stage. We are going to get back to your normal conditioning. It just takes a couple days. And I think you will achieve that with this plan. So I was like, I trust you. You're right. Okay. Yeah. I got it off my chest. And I was like, I think I was just having a prep moment. And now that that's done, I'm going to go do this. And then I was fine.
Yeah.
And so we all have them, no matter how long we do this or how mentally tough we are. What I didn't do is I didn't go do extra cardio.
Yeah.
I didn't go, I'll be honest. I even said out loud to my husband, I was like, because I think he said my cardio 45 minutes. And I was like, I'm just going to do an hour. And Ronnie goes, no, you're not. And I was like, you're right. I'm not going to do that. And so like, because I'm following the plan.
Trusting your coach.
And trusting your coach.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a plan. You hired them for a reason. You picked an excellent coach for a reason because he's not going to steer you wrong. And that's something where it's like you kind of have to like balance, I feel like, feedback to them.
Yeah.
And trusting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both.
Two-way street. It's this two-way
If
street.
you give
working
them the
together.
feedback and they then give you their answer,
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
You don't give them feedback to then do what you want to do. Then why did you give them feedback in the first place?
Or why did you even
Or why
hire
do you have a
them?
coach?
Why did you coach?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm glad I listened because like that I honestly I did the 2-day plan and it was after that 2 days, all the weight came off and I didn't end up having to do depletion days. We actually we had another week of working my carbs up because my body just kept dropping and I kept tightening up and leaning out and looking still full and so it was like, well, never mind. We'll just keep increasing your food, lowering your cardio. And then now finally I'm at these 2-day depletion days. But I went 2 weeks of not because of anyways. So
I always wonder if coaches, and I've had this with coaches before, but I always wonder as human beings if coaches want to just text you and be like, I told you so.
I told you so. Yep. Little little evil
like little
face.
devil, emoji.
And we're always like, we're in so much in our own little world and almost like a bias of like what's going on in our thing and like how we look or how we feel or like needing an extreme that like the coach is that third party or like that unbiased looking at you, like telling you what you need. And so it's kind of like when we're having that moment and being like, oh my God, I'm doubting everything. I'm doubting the world because of my feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need that logical, like the coach being
Yes.
like, okay, thanks for letting me know. This is what I think is best.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
You know, and then you trust them. So it's kind of like
I do every single time,
relationship.
like literally, like every single time. I haven't questioned much, but there has been some couple times, and I've expressed it to my coach, like, okay, but, and ... what's the but? And then he gives me his why and his reasoning and his plan, and I'm like, okay, and I execute it. He's always been right. And so I just have to like literally he has. And so I'm just like, okay, like you can stop freaking out now, Kaylia. Like, so yeah, I guess the point is that we all have these, no matter how long you do the sport, how mentally tough you are, we still have these moments. And it's just, and you know, what I didn't do is I didn't hold back from my coach. I didn't hide the feelings. And then I didn't use that to go do more cardio and eat less. I just stuck to the plan and I let the plan do its thing. And I feel great. I feel good. Like,
and now you have that conditioning that you wanted, and it's perfect. It's
and
you feel good, because also it doesn't feel good when you veer off the plan and not tell your coach.
Yeah.
Like, even if you do get to the goal, there's a little bit of like
guilt and stress.
Like,
So that's mine. We're all good now.
We're good now. Happy Pig Week.
I guess I could share something personal, just going off of that, where I did deviate from what my coach said to do. When was that? It was I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before Universe. It might have been juniors. I don't remember, but it was before my national show. I felt like my coach wasn't paying attention. You know, I was very, very depleted. I think I was on, I want to say 40 grams of carbs or something like that. And I was just not having a good week. And it wasn't anything body image wise. It was actually more how I felt. And so I think I was going to sleep and I was kind of like just not feeling good, like a little dizzy. I think I was like sweating. I was a little just nauseous, just
a lot of physical symptoms.
Just a lot of physical symptoms
aren't normal.
That I didn't think was normal. And so I think I texted him and said like what was going on. And then, you know, he was like, no, we're going to keep it low because we don't want, you know, your weight to go up, that kind of thing. This warranted my break from the scale. But anyway, we were very focused on weight and just and cardio and more weight. I'd say we were very focused on weight, and I just thought that those physical symptoms was not normal, having given how many preps I've done. And so I went and ate some carbs. I ate an entire case of plain rice cakes. So like, I think that's like 14 rice cakes. 14 rice cakes with like 7 grams of carbs each. What's that math? 14 times 7? I have no idea.
50 or 98.
Yeah. So about 100 grams of carbs. And yeah, I don't know. I can't do that math right now. Yeah, sure. So anyway, we were off plan. So so I ate that entire thing. Woke up the next day. Yeah, but even like what I ate speaks volumes.
Yeah,
too.
she did that.
You know,
cakes,
like out of every
plain rice cakes.
not even
the
chocolate.
caramel, not even the chocolate.
No, none of that.
Not even the white cheddar.
Yeah, exactly. And so it wasn't. I just want to point out that it wasn't like craving motivated.
Nope.
It was
like your body needed it.
Physically motivated.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I ate it. Didn't feel good about it. I felt very, very guilty. So that's what I'm kind of bringing up, tying this to. I felt very, very guilty. The 2 days afterwards, I actually ended up dropping weight. So
you needed that recovery, that feed, that refeed.
And so of course my coach at the time was like, see, you know, like we were sticking to the plan, that kind, and I knew that I didn't. Was I happy with the results? Yes. Because I mean, I didn't balloon up or anything crazy. But it also was a big red flag and takeaway for me that this wasn't the right relationship for me, because I didn't feel heard as an athlete.
Yeah.
So it's, you felt like the red flag was because they didn't listen to your feedback.
Yeah,
Or their technique and coaching.
yeah, just didn't jive
Align
very well
with-
with mine.
yeah.
But it was also for me, like, I had to check in with myself as an athlete, because that's not the type of athlete I
Yeah.
wanted to be. I didn't like the guilt afterwards. I wanted to have the experience that you did, where it's like you gave the feedback, you went with the plan, that kind of thing. But anyway, so it just led to a lot of changes that I knew I had to make post prep.
Yeah.
So after that prep, made some changes. So, but anyway, I've been there. So it just doesn't feel good, whether or not, like, I didn't balloon up, nothing happened that was bad, but it's still, you're still not checking all the boxes, right? And you're not adhering, and that doesn't feel good. So we really wanted to talk about food prep, or I guess not prep, macros, and then the mental struggles around that. For me, I am not very hungry in the mornings. That's just something, even before bodybuilding, when I was a kid, having breakfast in the morning was, like, early morning was hard for me. And I also, it might even be genetic, because my mom is similar and my grandmother is very similar as well, in terms of, basically the 6 to 9 a.m. eating window. I'm just not very hungry.
Same.
I am more like a 10 to 12
Yep.
type person.
Me too.
But it's never been something that I've really focused on. It's obviously kind of helped during prep to eat a little bit later. But that being said, my hunger window is like 9 to 11. So 9 to 11, I'm like, snacks.
PM?
Give me snacks.
Nighttime?
Yes, nighttime. And so one thing that I do to help myself, because I know this about myself, is usually I'll save a meal for later on during the day. So usually kind of like 8:30, 8 o'clock, 7, so maybe between 7:30 and 8:30, something like that. And then I have a little bit of an earlier bedtime, and that's helped me a lot. Just in terms of staying on track mentally, not having,
Not
this
being awake
moment,
during your snack window.
yeah, exactly. This moment where I'm like, I'm so hungry. And then also just being able to get up, get my cardio done in the morning. I literally sleep and I wake up and I am no longer hungry. But I
am
know Lauren is
opposite.
almost the exact opposite with that.
I wake up and the first thing I thought is like, can I eat yet?
Yeah.
Just counting down the minutes.
Yeah. But what's one of yours in
But
terms
like
of?
with that, like I wake
Yeah.
up and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. But sometimes like on like my work schedule, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, like I have to get up earlier and I have to go to work or like go into the office versus like just like be at home. Because when I'm at home, it's like easy to like check my emails and do fasted cardio and like things like that, and then move my meals back a little later to help with like my hunger later in the day. But when I get up a little bit earlier and have all this stuff to do and like get into the office and then I got meetings and stuff, it's kind of like, oh my god, what do I do to like get there? I typically have like 2 cups of coffee every morning, and so that's what kind of like I do before I eat, is I space out having coffee in the morning. Caffeine can help with like some appetite suppressive effects. And so like I've really just like become more like routine with like, okay, so in the morning I get up and I have my coffee and I do my morning routine, and even on the days I go to work, like I'll have a cup of coffee while I get ready and then a cup in the car and my little to-go cup, and like I think being very structured with it, because you already know what you're gonna eat typically. I mean, you should. So it's like, since I have my meals planned out, I also have like times that I eat. Like I know what time, and I think that helps me space my meals more appropriately, so that like I know I'm going to get a meal at this time, this time, this time, or even if I have a busy day, it's like before this and after this, and then after that. These are the times I'm eating, because then it's like non-negotiable that it's those things, and it kind of spaces my appetite. So like I know if I'm going to dip, it's okay, because right here is when I get my next meal.
Yeah.
And so I can kind of like focus on that. So I think planning it out. And
No, that helps me as well because I don't have my first meal until like lunch hour at work, which is like 11ish.
That's so crazy.
It's around 11ish, yeah. And so
Lo's
like
eaten twice.
If I
Yeah.
that's usually 11 is my second
Yeah.
meal.
yeah, so I'm
11's meal 2 for me.
Yeah, so I'll do like 11 and then usually sometime in the afternoon and then post patients, so about 5, so maybe
Yeah, we
like
had probably
11
similar.
to 5.
Eating.
Ish.
I kind of, so I do like so I am the same. I don't eat till like, my first meal is 10 or 11. And, but like you do like 6 meals. We do like 4 meals.
I do 4,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do
I break
4.
it up into a little bit smaller meals. Just it works better with my hunger
Yeah.
cues and
Yeah.
like keeping me a little bit more level throughout the day.
Mhm.
And I do what you do, and so until 10 or 11, I sip on coffee. So I have 4 things of coffee, but it's decaf. So I
Yeah.
switched to decaf a while ago. So I just like the taste. It's my treat. And so so I sip on coffee like all morning.
Mhm.
And also I have one of these flavored waters all morning too. So I'm just using drinks. So I just keep my mouth busy with liquids.
That is a huge prep hack.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
drink,
the prep
drink
hack.
your water.
Yes,
Yes.
mine is tea.
Tea-
So
yeah,
I
you like
I
tea.
prepare my tea the night before, so I literally just turn on the hot water, and so I have 2, and so usually it's like I love apple cinnamon. Well, you guys, I love apple cinnamon, anything cinnamon, love it. So I usually have 2 things of tea. I usually do cardio in the morning, and so cardio also like makes me even more not hungry.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
the
What?
opposite. If
Yeah,
I do
it makes
any
me even more
activity, I
not
get
hungry.
hungry.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, no, cardio
Oh.
makes me even more. I don't know. I like. Yeah.
So it
I'm
helps
weird.
you stretch out that window.
Yeah.
Until your
Yeah,
first
I don't
meal.
know.
Yeah.
And that's
Is
where, like,
that-
I think paying attention to your body cues, like, for me, it's different than how it is for Steph. And so we both know that. And so we can plan appropriately. Like, that cue is going to either make us less or more hungry, just depending on how our personal bodies respond.
Yeah.
And so I think just being really aware and paying attention to your body cues so that you can plan things. Like,
yeah.
I know if I do cardio, I'm going to be extra hungry, or
Right afterwards.
I'll me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
I get
God.
it.
I
I'm not right
need
afterwards.
it.
I don't know. Like if I,
I could devour
it's not
a
that
buffet
I'm nauseous
after I do cardio or
afterwards. I'm
lift.
just like, it's just like my heart rate is high. I
You
don't
need to
know
come
what
down
it is. I
from
need to
it.
come
It's like
down
you need
from
to
it.
come
Like
down
I
from
come
it.
down from it, and then like half an hour, 40
Yeah.
minutes after, then I'm hungry.
Okay.
The only activity
Yeah.
where I get hungry immediately after is swimming.
Swimming.
Oh, swimming! Oh my
yeah,
God!
I get hungry.
I'm like in the water and I'm like, I need food. Someone just throw me.
Yeah, I
food.
just don't want to swim.
Swimming is. I don't know what it
Swimming
is.
I
Don't
agree.
swim.
I agree. It does. It makes
I
you
don't
so
know.
hungry.
Yeah, I don't swim. I'm like, I'm not a
Don't
great
get my
swimmer.
face wet. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like with meal, like I notice, so I have 4 meals a day, and in between those, between the first 2, I think is the hardest for me, because as soon as I eat the first one, I go, dang
Yes.
it.
Yes.
My hunger, like it's like
Agreed.
I finally got food in my mouth, in my
Activated.
stomach.
Hunger
is activated,
Yep.
and now I'm just thinking about the next meal.
Yep.
And so, so between that second and third, those meals, that's where I drink most of my, I think, fluids. And I will, depending on where we're at, like I will incorporate a diet soda, a Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper. I'll incorporate flavored water. If I want an energy drink, I do incorporate like one of those things maybe a
Yes.
day to as a little
Energy
treat
drink is-
to
yeah.
hold
In
me over
moderation,
in
yeah.
moderation. I sip on it, and that until my next meal, and then and whatever. And so yeah, I use liquids to kind of keep, or I do use gum. So now I don't chew a pack of gum a day. I don't even chew half a pack a day, but. And actually, I'm doing a lot less now. Like I'm doing like literally only 3 pieces of gum a day. That's
Yeah.
such a win for me.
That-
That's not
that
a
is
lot. Oh, okay.
A lot,
That's
yeah.
progress. It's good.
Right? That is,
I was
no,
like,
that's
how dare
really
you,
good.
Cody? You see me do that in one set.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
In one exercise.
Mhm.
But yeah, so like I will, okay, my 3 pieces of gum, this is where I'm going to use them, is I'm going to chew between, like those,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have
point you
buckets in my
get
car,
to.
Too. Yeah, I have the gum and then icebreakers.
Yeah,
Those
that's
2
the
things.
point.
I have it in my car. I definitely don't keep them with me because I will just like
Keep grabbing for them as soon as
yeah,
the flavor's
but if
gone.
if it's exactly. And so if I'm using it like that, I'll put it in my car, and then if I need it,
If you're
I'll
in
go
your car,
out.
drive,
and-
yeah, go out and get it. So I do things like that to keep me from, 1, having my next meal too early, because then I know I really will hate myself later.
Yeah.
And then 2, from like eating something I can't eat, like shouldn't eat,
Mm-hmm.
and having bites or anything like that. Like I just use that stuff to hold me over until the next meal. And usually I'm busy enough in between those things that it's fine anyways. I'm working out or with clients or doing cardio or whatever, and or working. And so yeah, and then I guess like nighttime, I'm usually fine because I have the way my schedule is. I usually have dinner, my little creamy ice cream that is like my treat that I look forward to all day, and then I go to bed. So it's like the time wise, I don't have a chance, but I do make my husband's dinner, and I will like you do get that true deep hunger to where you're like, I just want to taste what I'm making him. Like it looks
Yes.
so good, and I just want to bite, and like it is there has been some days where it is like one bite is not gonna kill me.
Yep.
And like it literally wouldn't. But I would be so mad that I took it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so
You feel
I
guilty.
I just make sure whenever I'm cooking dinner for he and I have something yummy to sip on. So usually my flavored water. I'm usually finishing my last water at that point. Or I love my little magnesium drink. So I drink magnesium every night. And magnesium mixed with like a certain water flavoring just like tastes like a little, it's just so good. I don't know.
That's
It's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
So I'll sip on that while I make dinner, or I'll chew a piece of gum while I make dinner. So
I just
that way.
thought of one more that I do. Is that I have breakfast for dinner almost every night.
Oh.
So my meal one is broccoli,
The opposite.
chicken,
The
and
opposite.
turkey, right? Because
I mean,
it's
it's
like
at
it's pretty
lunch.
much lunchtime, right? And so so that's my
then your
first meal.
best
I just
meal
thought
is
about this, and I just realized 'cause I've been doing it for so long, it's normal for me. But when Zach's having like dinner, I'm like having eggs and oatmeal. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
full of
I'm gonna
oatmeal.
have
That's
to.
a
Yeah,
good
when I
way to
have
do it.
kids, they're gonna be they're gonna think that
Breakfast for
breakfast food is
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah,
food.
they are.
And one thing too is like if you're on a meal plan, like obviously you have to follow what your coach says, or you can maybe ask them before,
Ask, yes.
but like you can maybe move meals around. Like meal 1 and meal 4 can be swapped because it just is more appropriate for your schedule or your day. But one thing is too, if you are doing macros and you're choosing your food sources, there's certain things that can help with hunger. Like if you're choosing a more fibrous food versus like a quick digesting carb or something that's more volume, depending on where you're in prep. Like if you're a few weeks out or prep or peak week, like obviously like those kind of things maybe won't be as ideal. But like if you're like me, I have no show date. Like Kaylia and I were eating our meals earlier before we
spaghetti
drove
squash.
here, and I'm eating spaghetti squash, a whole 7 ounces of it plus green beans and stuff, and it's a big meal.
That
and
was me
it's-
last week and before. No.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss it.
But like I'm not depleting, and like it just felt good to eat that much
I-
food.
Volume.
I
yeah.
did that. So like probably 3-4 weeks ago, I think that's where hunger like finally hit me this prep. Like I literally have gone this whole prep and have been like, fine, like just not really thinking about hunger. And I just had a week or 2 weeks that I was just like, hunger was constantly on my brain, and I was super food focused. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw me start posting all kinds of brunch things every day. That's when it hit me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I added in the spaghetti squash. So I was like,
So
okay,
good.
I need to do something. And instead of like thinking I need to go fall off plan or anything, I just made my meals larger with spaghetti squash. And so instead of having all of my hot cereal and oatmeal I was having, I just did a rice cake or two and then a ton of spaghetti squash. So that way I was just felt full. And I did that for like 2 or 3 weeks up
And the
until
fibrous carbs help.
to
Yeah.
hold me over, to keep me surviving. And then now that I'm in peak week, I've pulled out the spaghetti squash so there's less volume in my stomach. It's just a volume in my stomach thing.
Yeah.
And
It's the same carbs.
it's the same. And so
Or-
now I went back to my oatmeal. So I've got a little bit of oatmeal with each protein and some green beans. And now my, just for peak week to keep the core small and the stomach tight, which it definitely has. I notice a huge difference today.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm 2 days into no spaghetti squash, and I know a significant difference in just how small my waist is.
Yeah.
So when you're in that peak week leading up to
I
the
would say
show,
3 weeks or less.
3 weeks or less.
3 weeks for me. 3 weeks
Oh.
or less. I really start to tone
Dwindle
Scale back
down
the
the.
veggies.
tone down
I
the
scale back
volume.
veggies when I get really close.
Yeah, I'll
to
take out the
show.
green beans.
Yeah.
So I'll have green beans up until when. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's my travel day. So as of Thursday, Friday, and show day, I'll take those out.
Oh yeah,
I might
all
have
the
a spring.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Completely. But I just mean like more volume wise. Like okay,
Yeah.
my big add is shredded lettuce.
Okay.
If I'm really feeling like I'll add shredded
Like you
lettuce
need
to everything. It's
something
like it's
extra.
like huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zucchini.
I do a lot of zucchini.
Yeah,
Yeah, zucchini.
zucchini's a good one. But like I mean, like at 3 weeks, I would switch from using those type of more voluminous, more
Yeah,
they're almost like more
filling.
watery in
Yeah.
a way, to like a broccoli or to a green bean or something that just like
Is more condensed
tightens
and
down
tight-
the
yeah.
volume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can even get like even picky too on certain things like for like a pre-workout carb source. Like there's a difference between if you use oatmeal or cream of rice, like in
Yes.
how fast you digest it because of the fiber content between oatmeal and cream of rice. So like certain things like if you have like a longer period of time between your meal for something or something and you're like choosing between your carb source, like look at like what it is it something that's going to be quicker digesting, or is it going to be something that like lasts longer, or do you have fats in that meal? And
That's
the
so
fat
funny you
makes
just
digest
mentioned that
slower.
because I literally noticed that. I was eating
Yeah.
my cream of rice bowl in the morning
Yeah.
the last few days, and I was having my oatmeal in the last few meals, and I noticed after that first meal it was just digesting and I was just starving and just like grumpy, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna put my cream of rice meal at dinner time because then I'm just gonna go to bed. And so now I have my oatmeals in the, and now I'm like more content in between meals.
That's
Yeah.
like rice
Makes a
cakes too.
huge
Rice
difference.
cakes
Yeah.
too are
Rice
fast.
cakes are quick.
They're gone.
Yep.
So it's
Yep,
like
you're still
which
really hungry. Yep.
which carb? Like I was doing either like apples or rice cakes, which are a little different, but they're both just carbs.
Yeah.
But the apple has fiber in it
Yep.
and it's sweeter, and so it felt like more of a treat to me, and I'm actually less hungry eating an apple than I am eating 3 rice cakes. So it's like which one are you gonna do? Like they're both easy to go options
Yeah.
for.
It's just your time of like where are you in your prep and how
Yeah.
like check in with yourself. Like, are you having that huge hunger cue or not?
And sometimes, guys, you just have to suck it up.
That's
Yes,
true.
there's
That's
that
also
as
true.
well. That's a
Because no
huge
matter
one.
how much flavored water you drink or gum, you shouldn't chew tons of gum or drink. Anyways, but
Yeah.
like you're just gonna be hungry. And you're just going to want bites, and you're going to want the burgers and fries and donuts, and you just have to tell yourself you decided to prep, and this is part of it. And hunger means things are working, and
Yep,
so
that's happening. You
Yep.
are dieting.
you are dieting, you are in a calorie deficit, and you are chasing that conditioning you need for the stage, and it is a good thing, even though in the moment it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're doing the thing that you signed up to do.
I've gotten to the point sometimes where like you can feel your body cues as you get like more body aware like throughout preps, when I'm like really like getting leaner, and like I go to bed and I like have this one feeling in my stomach. It's definitely hardcore hunger, but it's like a stomach growling thing. But when I go to bed like that and I can feel it's a specific feeling, not just a hunger feeling.
Yeah, it's a deep.
I know
it's, like
it's gonna be a drop in the morning, so I go to bed. I'm like, this.
She's excited to
pain
wake
is
up and-
So awesome, because tomorrow's gonna be good.
That is so funny. I love that. That's
So it's
gonna
kind
wake
of
up.
like one of those like maybe it's a masochism thing where you're like enjoying the
Yeah.
pain.
I'm
Like-
I have one. I'm like Ashley Kay in when I go to the bathroom and I can see like more lines in my legs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here comes a drop.
Here
Here comes a drop. I didn't even know that other people did that, and I heard her say that, and I was like, oh my gosh,
That's me.
I also do that.
So there's like
It is a real thing.
you can find like joy in certain little uncomfortable things because you know what it's bringing, or
Well,
like
Yeah, I know, and we probably
Yeah.
all experience this because this is just normal when you lose weight. But when you have a day where it's just like like you have low energy, like low, and it kind of feels like your legs are heavy, you're slow to move. It's like you're trying to run through water or something.
Yeah.
That feeling, a lot of times, that's just a day or two and you're dropping weight. You're losing. You're going to see a drop in the scale in the next day, 2 or 3. And literally 9 times out of 10, whenever I felt that, it's just like get through the day, just check the boxes, get through the day. I personally usually feel better than the next day or the next day or two, and I've lost weight. And so that's also a cue of like that, that hunger is working, all the work is working. You just have to push through.
Yeah.
Like
I am right now. My stomach is growling.
It's so
You can hear it. I'm like,
I'm thinking,
but over time you just like you realize
you almost look forward to those moments.
you
Kinda.
like realize those
Yeah.
moments are like you're like this moment is so worth it because I
Mhm.
know it's bringing me that much closer to my goal.
Yeah, it's a positive spin on it. It really is. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
And how you
So-
choose to go through any experience in life is how you choose to go through it.
Mhm.
So if like you choose to be like this hunger it just only sucks, I mean it sucks to a point of course.
Mhm.
But like if it only sucks, then it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But like if you're like this sucks, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
then you get to choose to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you guys navigate, like, so that's food, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so switching gears into the other part of it, like workouts and cardio, when you're just exhausted and it's not even about hunger, it's just exhaustion. And how do you navigate, like, oh, I got to go into the gym and lift weight and I've got to go
do 2
do
hours of cardio.
2 hours of incline, fast walking cardio, you know?
Been
How do you
there.
mentally navigate that?
Been there.
Me and my iPad are best friends. If you've ever seen me on the treadmill, if I don't have my iPad, I am probably not on the treadmill. But
Or come talk to her and
I,
keep her occupied.
yeah,
Just kidding.
I find shows that have like 5 to 10 seasons of
Yes.
like 20 episodes that I am like, and I only watch them on the treadmill.
Yeah,
So
save 'em for
it's
that.
something that I look forward to. Usually, just for my ADHD, I have to have like more than one thing going on. So I'm either having the show in the background and I'm on my phone, like replying, doing things like that, or replying to emails, that kind of thing. Or I, this is a funny one, or I'm watching my show and playing Settlers of Catan.
She loves that.
Love Settlers of Catan. Love that
Never
game.
played that ever.
And each game takes me about 20 to 30 minutes. So 2 hours of cardio is 4 games.
Oh,
And usually sometimes if it's really bad and I've got it, because usually I don't do 2 hours all at once. But if I slept in or something happened at work where I had to be early at work, I just couldn't get my cardio done in the morning or like half of it. Split it up. Then I will call my siblings, make them log on and play Catan with me.
That's awesome. You know, you have to have ways to like kind of like get through. It's past the time. The time's gonna pass. You gotta like have something to occupy.
Yeah.
Like I do have the same thing with like my Netflix shows. Like it's my cardio show. I don't go like watch it on the couch in the evening or
No.
anything like that season or that episode. And it's something usually pretty cheesy and lighthearted and like
Yeah, it has to be something that you
soapy.
can just listen to, right?
Right.
It's not
Soap
like,
drama.
You know, like, yeah, it to be dialed in. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or like
And so I'll like play that, but like I almost like give myself like my cardio time is like we have so much going on and we're constantly processing and thinking and doing and we've got to execute and do all these things. Like my cardio time is my time to zone out.
that is me lately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't have
I
to do
feel this on a
anything
deep
but make sure
level.
I'm giving enough effort.
Yeah.
So like make sure that my heart rate's getting to the right zone that I need it to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my only responsibility during cardio. So I get to like it's almost like a guilty pleasure of like I just get to zone out on TV right now and I put my phone on do not
Yeah.
disturb and I just get to have a me time
Mm-hmm.
and I just zone out. And
Yeah.
it's like I get to just like enjoy a little TV show time and
Yeah.
nothing else
Where your
matters.
brain is doing nothing. That's
Yeah.
literally me lately. Is I noticed for a while in prep, I used my cardio time. It was, do we like want to be on the treadmill this much and like getting our heart rate up to this much? No, but I was saving like work stuff and tasks and things to do on my phone, social media stuff, and filling my cardio time with that. And so that would help me get through my cardio. And then I switched to I would kind of do what Steph did. It got deeper where I was like, okay, I need a show and I need to get stuff done. And so watching a show and getting stuff done on my phone. And then I'm like, okay, brain's kind of over that. And really what it is just life. Like I've noticed, like I started noticing whenever I got to check out, I felt calmer and felt better. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to save my checkout time for when I'm on the treadmill. I'm just going to put on, I've been watching so many podcasts on YouTube lately. I'm just
Yes.
catching up on like people's vlogs, I'm not much of a show person. It's really hard for me to get into a show. I don't know why, but I really like watching podcasts and vlogs. I like to listen to conversation. And so I will just put that on. I need a visual with the audio, and I'm in that. And
Yeah.
that's it. And my
Yeah.
brain just doesn't think about work. It doesn't think about my personal life. It doesn't think about
Yeah.
anything else, my schedule. It just does that.
Yeah, and I like the vlogs and things too, because sometimes it will actually when I feel like lower motivation, it
Yeah.
invigorates me.
Yes, gives
So,
me
like,
ideas. and it
Exactly. Like
gives-
I
it-
like watching like predictions of shows coming up that
Yeah.
Or the
weekend.
show reviews.
And then we're usually texting about it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
and it's kind of a chance to study the sport
Yes.
too. Like we're
Yes.
studying, but we're
Yes.
zoning out. We're getting
Yeah.
our cardio done. We're like 3-time multitasking.
Yeah, I have
And-
like 3 to 4 activities that I can choose from depending on the time of day, what type of cardio, how I feel. I'm like, okay, what are we doing today? Are we watching a show? Are we playing Catan? Are we watching our
podcast.
podcast?
YouTube.
Yeah. The other one I do is I listen to motivational speeches.
Yeah.
So I do that first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Usually first thing in the morning because sometimes I don't feel like it's like 5 a.m. and I'm like, oh my god. And to have this person yelling in your ear, being like, "You will grind it out today. You will blah blah blah," and I'm like,
Gets her
okay,
going at 5
here we
a.m. in
go.
the morning.
We're moving.
We're gonna be a champion today.
Yeah, I've gotten way more into watching YouTube videos this prep during my cardio, and we've actually had quite a few of like our podcast listeners like say like we'll like be posting like episodes live or coming tomorrow, and they're like, can't wait to watch this during cardio tomorrow, and I'm like,
We're one of those.
That's awesome. We are cardio distraction.
I'll be honest. When I do watch our podcast, so
Yeah.
whenever ours come out that
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday, then the Wednesday morning, whenever I'm doing cardio, that
The night
I
that
will
one
save
is,
it and
yeah.
I'll watch it and just listen to
Yeah.
how we're doing and
Yeah.
and so I'll do that and study for it, like make little
Yeah.
notes and like
Yeah.
whatever. But so I'll do that. But another thing, like there's definitely those days where you don't want to do cardio, like, and you just like. There's probably been some times where people have saw me walk into that gym and I'm just like head down, don't look at anyone, press start and just go and just go. And sometimes I have been like, you know what, this is a day where it's okay. I'm going to start my cardio and the first 5 minutes, I'm going to ease my way up to my heart rate because I just need that to get, and then it's just 5 minutes and I'm like, hey, got the heart rate up, now let's go time. But I let myself ease in. There's also times where it's a day where I'm like dragging, but I force myself, like I sometimes will jog to hurry and spike my heart rate because I noticed that if I hurry and get my heart rate up high and I'm doing the work, I feel kind of proud. And so then it inspires me, or it just ignites that spark of like, okay, I can do this hour cardio session.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And so it's like those endorphins. Wow.
No, yeah.
Words are hard. But so it just depends on the mood. It depends on the day. No matter what, I get it done. It just might be a different tactic and how
Yeah.
I get it done that day.
Yeah. Because it's a mental strategy. I like break it down. I'm like, okay, Stephanie, even though you have 45 minutes, I don't tell myself I have 45 minutes or an hour. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do 15 minutes. Do the 15 minutes. I'm like, we could go for another 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just somehow just breaks
It
out.
goes
Because there are
by.
those days where I'm like, no way. And then I remind myself that I used to do 45 minutes of the stairs.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
a good
that.
one. That's miserable.
Right at the very beginning, like
I've
my
done it.
very first prep,
Yeah.
those sort of things.
Yeah,
I'm
my
like,
early
how the
prep.
hell
If-
did I ever do
If
that?
you can too, if you can, and when your cardio starts to, I mean, heck, even if, like, I'm gonna be honest, there is a lot of this prep, or a lot of the last month or so, where my cardio was like 45 minutes to an hour, but some days it was less than that. Even 30 minutes. There were a couple days where I was like, I can't do 30 minutes right now in the morning. Like I was just my body was just tired, and so I just did 15 minutes. But I went hard for that 15 minutes, and I was like, I just have to do 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna do 15 minutes after my workout later this evening or later this afternoon, and I got it all done, full intensity. But I had to break it up that small on those days, and so like that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
But then there's the next day, it's like, oh yeah, I can do that 30 minutes, I can do that 45, I can do that hour, no problem.
Yeah.
But you will just have those days where you're just like, I cannot. Yes, you can. Just figure out a way to
Different
get it
strategy.
done. Yeah.
Different strategy.
And 9 times out of 10, if it's cardio or even your workout where you're just like not feeling like doing it, just start. Like once you get
Yes.
going, it's like
Yep.
you're going, and like your blood is moving, you're in the zone, and it just starts moving.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I mean, there
Yeah.
are the exceptional times where it's like, nope, got to break this up, or I have
Yeah.
to change
Yeah.
like how I'm doing this, or like this is
Yeah.
just tough. But I would say for me, 9 times out of 10, like once you like, even if you're like just like putting it off, or like just like sitting in the car before a workout and be like, oh my god, I don't think I can do this today. This
Yeah.
is gonna be a rough one. Like I start going, and sometimes those are even like the best workouts. Like
they are.
I start going, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god, now I feel so much better.
No, they
I've-
are, because you feel accomplished, because you
Yes.
really felt like you couldn't do it and you really believed it.
Yeah.
Like your mind almost like makes it worse than it is.
Yeah.
The more you sit there and think about it, it's like,
Ponder
oh my
over it.
God, I've got to do this cardio. Oh my god. Like there's been times where I felt worse about going to do 20 minutes of cardio
Then the
and-
2
right? Like
Yes.
the 2 hours or an hour and a
Same.
half. And I'm like, that's
Not-
crazy.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
there for sure.
Yeah. Those were a ton of strategies that we went through. So we'd love to hear from you guys if you implement any of the strategies that you've heard today, or if we missed any that we could use, or that
We can share on the podcast for
yeah.
others. Like,
Yeah.
give us your strategies and how you mentally navigate prep, and then we'd love to share them out with the Bikini Besties world and give those ideas out there to help navigate prep.
Yeah.
Yeah, share your best mindset hacks about prep for us. We'd love to hear it because I think everybody deals with things a little bit differently, and it all helps us to share and
all-
relate and
We can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
and all be
Yeah.
besties.
Yeah.
So thank you again for joining us for episode 12, and we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.